Trump's Megabill, what this means for you and when the effects will be noticed. Imagine someone's actions today trickling down to impact the lives of millions in ways that might not be immediately visible. It's not hyperbole. It's the reality of President Donald Trump and the congressional Republicans' ambitious tax and spending legislation. The bill stands to alter the lives of millions, especially those in vulnerable situations, though some of these changes will not be felt for a few years. Medicaid, what's changing? Though Trump's campaign promised to protect Medicaid, a vital healthcare program for low-income and elderly Americans, the reality is that the bill targets this essential safety net. Under the proposed changes, Medicaid recipients who are not disabled and aged between 19 and 64 must fulfill an 80-hour monthly work requirement or engage in other approved activities like volunteering. Notably, parents of children under 14 and those with disabilities are exempt. These requirements, however, won't be enacted until 2026. Experts on health policy indicate that the number of able-bodied Medicaid recipients not working is relatively small, but the administrative burdens of continuous proof of employment might lead to a broader loss of coverage. Meanwhile, a reduction in Medicaid funding arising from changes to provider taxes will likely lead to the closure of many rural health centers that rely on Medicaid. Some health center workers express concerns that, coupled with the paperwork burden, these changes might aggravate the closure problem. What's more, while the House initially proposed $600 billion in cuts to Medicaid, the final Senate version estimates a $1 trillion reduction, potentially increasing the number of uninsured people by nearly 12 million by 2034. In response, the Senate proposed a $50 billion rural hospital fund to address concerns about the impact on constituents. However, the adequacy and distribution of this funding remain uncertain. Affordable Care Act, a shift in coverage. Proposed modifications for the Affordable Care Act, set to take effect in 2026, could result in approximately 17 million additional individuals losing their health coverage. The changes would eliminate automatic renewals and burden consumers with more paperwork when applying for insurance through the open market. Food assistance, tougher rules ahead. Changes to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, will also tighten work requirements, reducing the number of eligible Americans. The Act extends the requirement age from 54 to 64 and includes parents with children over 6. Currently, parents with dependent children are exempt from these requirements. These tougher regulations will start being enforced as early as this year. Additionally, a new mandate will require states to contribute at least 5% the SNAP costs starting from 2028, whereas prior to that, the program was fully federally funded. These changes amount to a projected $230 billion in cuts over the next decade. Tax regulation, what to look out for. Some tax changes will be reflected in 2026 filings. Notably, new deductions are allowed for tips and overtime pay, capped at $25,000 and $12,500 per year, respectively. The standard deduction is increased by $750 for single filers and $1,500 for joint filers. Significantly, the bill revises the state and local taxes SALT deduction cap, raising it from $10,000 to $40,000 annually for households earning under $500,000. With an annual 1% increase until it returns to $10,000 in 2030. Moreover, tax incentives for electric vehicle purchases and green home upgrades like solar energy will come to an end, while Green Project tax breaks for businesses will be phased out next year. Your view, what's your take on these changes? These policy shifts are significant, but they will unfold gradually over the next decade. Are these changes a necessary move for economic stability? Or do they unfairly burden those in need? Share your thoughts in the comments. Does this bill seem fair, or does it pose challenges that need reconsideration?